Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Plus, reflections on a great governor. And he's got the rundown.
Sam, it's National Women's History Month, so it's appropriate we speak with today's guest. She has crashed that glass ceiling, and now she's president of SBC Nevada. Today's guest is Sylvia Samano. Sam?
And coming up on the Power Pundit panel today, Bob Crowell, Dick Gammick, and Marlene Lockard. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8. Lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1. Have some fun. Lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp. Have a sip. Try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you.
In business, the key to success is not the quantity of your clients, it's the quality of your clients. Almost all companies will tell you they want more sales, but what they really need are quality customers who pay their bills on time. With Employer Link's client vendor screening program, we provide comprehensive reports regarding the financial performance of your corporate prospects, customers, and vendors. Build your business with great clients and vendors. Call Employer Links today at 883-3733.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're very pleased to welcome to the program today a woman who rarely does these kind of shows. In fact, maybe never does these kind of shows except today. And she's Sylvia Samano, and she's the president of SBC Nevada, the phone company. Welcome to the program. We're really glad to have you here.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you so much for being here, Sylvia.
It's good to be here.
Sylvia, we have...
No, go ahead.
Fight over who gets
No, you go for it. You see, it's pent-up demand.
We have a lot of women out there who watch this program who want to know, how did you make it to president of SBC Nevada?
Well, that's a good question, because when I started with the company 26 years ago, you don't start out with the knowledge of, oh, someday I want to be president of one of the companies. Quite frankly, I just took 1 year at a time. I know that sounds strange for 26 years, but essentially I worked in many areas of the company, and each assignment was about 2 years, maybe 3. I think the longest I had in one job was 5. And I moved around a bit. I know some folks don't like to move around, but I enjoy doing that because you get a different sense of how things are done in different areas of the country. And so while I've lived in Texas, Missouri, California, and now Nevada, things are done just a little bit differently. But I've really enjoyed the journey. And it wasn't until the last probably 3 years or so, I've been here now about 1.5 years, that I thought that maybe I could be a president. You know, it just, you have to work hard and kind of learn the ropes, and I'm in an area that I absolutely love, and I work for a great company.
So if you were going to give one piece of advice to women who are in the workforce and maybe, you know, would like to work their way up, would it be to be flexible? What's the most important thing they can do to let the company know that they're interested in moving up?
I think being flexible. and taking on assignments that others don't necessarily want to do. A lot of times, I remember one assignment that I got, I went into a situation where there were some problems, some rather large ones, and at first I thought, oh dear, you know, what am I doing here? But that provided the opportunity to resolve them, and through that I learned a lot, but also the company benefited as well.
Oh, great. All right, let's move on to some business type topics here.
Okay.
Consolidation. You're in long distance, local, DSL, cell phones, satellite. The costs of these services, bundling them together, are going down for the consumer.
Right.
But how does that affect the bottom line for SBC?
Well, by benefiting the consumers, the more customers we would get, and then therefore we were able to sell them more services. And right now, bundling is the trend of the industry. Not only SBC, but our competitors also are doing the bundling. But I am happy to admit that SBC is the first company to be able to offer both telecommunications needs and entertainment. So you're right, you've done your homework. We're into the local, long distance, high-speed internet access, wireless, and now satellite TV.
Okay, does it get to a point though where, you know, it becomes harder and harder for the company to be profitable when there's going to be so much? I mean, you know, just from a marketing point of view, all the companies are spending fortunes marketing to get these customers. Every customer pretty much has the services, so you're no longer trying to get new business, but you're just taking it from one another. Do you see a point where some of the major companies may have to either consolidate further or go out of business?
No, I'm not going in that direction. I just think that the bundles is a real good value to our consumers, and so therefore the consumer's benefiting from all this competition. The more, basically the philosophy is, the more you purchase from us, the more of a discount you got. So you got that correct. But bundling is really the area where consumers are going to. We've done market research, and our customers have told us they want one bill, and they want entertainment on that bill. And so they also want to know that their price is going to remain about the lowest in the area. And so they're doing a lot of comparative shopping.
Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, lots more for Sylvia Samano from SBC Nevada. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
Allegra is Northern Nevada's #1 offset printing and digital copying facility.
From disc to destination, Allegra utilizes tomorrow's technology today. We specialize in booklets, catalogs, manuals, newsletters, stationery, and envelopes.
Xerox, Docutech, 4-color printing with Heidelberg Speedmaster, desktop publishing and design, graphic services, pickup and delivery.
If you need printing, Allegra can do it. From disc to destination.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Sikh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, in a rare interview, Sylvia Samano is here. She's the president of SBC Nevada.
And I should disclose that I have SBC DSL line. So
yeah, I have to admit I'm a customer too, but I don't think we're going to get any breaks on any more so than Barbara Vukanovich gets free postage stamps. We're not going to get any free phone calls on this. Okay, I was in an interesting conversation the other day with some very conservative relatives who said to me that they were not going to get satellite because it required a hardline phone into their satellite dish, because they were thinking about getting rid of their hardline phones altogether and going totally with cell phones. How is SBC responding to this kind of thing?
Well, we've known for some time, Sam, that one of our competitors is wireline service. And quite frankly, the way the demographics break out over that are the younger people primarily are coming in, and because earlier in their careers, they have to budget for their different services. And while they already have a cell phone, they think they don't have to have a landline. But I've got to tell you that that is just a trend, and all of us and our competitors are facing that. But in times of disasters and things of that nature, and I keep referring to California because they're our sister state, those landlines really come in handy. A lot of times because they're linked up to a computer, and then they can send messages out by computer via, as opposed to, just a cell phone.
Now, during 9/11, I couldn't reach any of my children in the Washington, D.C. area except by email. And that was the only way, but it couldn't get through on their cells at all. It was impossible. Everything was totally blocked.
Okay, tied to that, the FCC is now mandating that because cell phones are becoming such an important form of communication, that there's now a mandate to dramatically improve the quality and service. Is this going to be a huge investment cost for companies like SBC?
Well, since that's one of our subsidiaries, I don't feel like I'm the expert to speculate on that. However, I know that you've read in the last couple of weeks that Singular, which is owned by SBC and Bell South, have just made a bid to purchase AT&T Wireless. Now, once that goes through, it's a year in the making. They have to pass some standards and all. Once that happens, though, the combined efforts will make it the premier wireless provider in the United States.
Will there be deals for people that are presently on AT&T?
I think it's too early to tell. Way too early to tell.
I tried.
But I think it will benefit consumers because of the scope of the footprint across the country. And so the technologies will be there. There'll be some upgrading on technologies. And I think people are going to get a really good service from that one combined entity.
Now, Charlie Ergen with EchoStar, which is the Dish Network satellite company, tried to buy DirecTV. He wasn't allowed to do that. He is a huge competitive figure in the satellite industry, and now he's hooked up with SBC for joint marketing. How does that work?
Well, it's a partnership between SBC and EchoStar, and SBC invested $500 million into their system. And so what we like about it is that it's an SBC branding opportunity. So it'll be SBC Dish Network. It's not just going to be called Dish. And so we will be providing that. In fact, we just made our announcement last week. So you'll start seeing a lot of articles about it and advertising and probably some direct mail pieces as well.
You're also expanding into the local phone area down in Las Vegas in Clark County,
yes,
aren't you?
we are. And Andy, I'm so glad you asked that because I'm so excited. I was just down there on Friday. We opened through a subsidiary of ours called SBC Telecom, and now we are offering, there we're serving as a CLEC. So, and here we're the incumbent, but there we're offering now residential service and also business service to mid and large businesses.
Now, I know there was a Supreme Court decision that was quite significant that said that local telephone companies no longer had to lease their lines to competitors. Just came through last Thursday.
Right.
And I was concerned about your competitiveness, and I checked with the Public Utilities Commission, but they tell me you're putting in your own equipment down in Las Vegas.
That's exactly right.
So this won't hurt you.
We're making our own investment down in Las Vegas. And regarding the triennial review order, currently analysts are still studying the ruling, and as if you've probably been reading in the paper, there are many opinions about that. But now the ball is back in the FCC's court to come up with rulings that really enhance and enable the telecommunications industry to become more viable economically for their customers and certainly for their employees.
One of the things I find interesting is as this technology continues to grow is future possible uses. Now, with this hookup with Dish Network, will it be possible someday on your cell phone to be receiving satellite TV programs?
That's something that could be in the works. I know that with all these offers that are services that we're putting together, that we are looking into some additional technologies to enhance all of them put together.
Just think people could go to the grocery store and still watch the show.
You know, that I like, but I'm concerned that they're driving down the road, they got the DVD player over here, they're watching something on their cell phone, they're eating, combing their hair, and driving. I don't want to be driving next to that person.
Well, that just goes to prove how many areas that you want to be informed on a daily basis.
You know, I'm a little scared. At this point, the internet is certainly more information than I need at this point, so I'm not sure about that. Listen, thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate it. Will you please come back on a regular basis and visit with us?
Regular basis.
Well, I mean, even once a year would be great. Thanks so much for being here. Sylvia Samano with SBC Nevada. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Your home is an expression of all things comforting and familiar. For custom storage, you can count on California Closets to provide quality, value, and design integrity. The process is easy, combining your personal style with our organizing expertise. We care about what matters most to you, making your home functional and beautiful. California Closets, simplifying home and life since 1978. Call today for your complimentary design consultation.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we have a great panel as always on the program today. Bob Crowell is here. He's an attorney. Dick Gammick, also an attorney, also our Washoe County District Attorney, and Marlene Lockard with Capital Strategies. Welcome to all of you. I wanted to start out the program today, if we could, with thoughts of Mike O'Callahan, who passed away last week. Bob, you want to start out?
Well, you know, there's a large part of me that is gone when I think about Mike. I came out of law school and moved in right next to the governor's mansion when Mike was governor. And, you know, my fondest memory is going down to the governor's mansion and talking to he and Carolyn and actually going to some fantastic parties there in the governor's mansion. And he was probably closer to my father than he was to me, and I know he was, as a matter of fact. It's just a tremendous loss, and you know, Nevada was well served by Mike, and hopefully will be well served by his memory as well.
Dick?
It's it's going to be a big hole. In fact, I used to call him quite every time I had issues that were statewide or Clark County. If I needed something there, one thing comes to mind is when we were fighting over this whole marijuana initiative last time. I used to call him and say, "Give me some guidance. Can you do this? Can you do that?" And you know, there's some things about Mike, I mean, it gets used a lot, but when he said something, that was his bond. Absolute, total, no question. And you always knew where he stood, because he'd tell you whether he could help you or not. So I think that's going to be missed tremendously.
And you're speaking as a Republican, talking about a Democrat here.
Oh, I never even, Democrat and Mike O'Callahan just never even went together for me. He was what my parents were Democrats, and Walt Baring and a lot of those people, and Grant Sawyer, and he was the old school Democrat, which was pretty moderate, a lot of times conservative people. Compared to what we may have today running around the state, and he was definitely the epitome. And the other thing about him is he was definitely a fighter for the little guy. Absolutely. Even one of his last columns, which they just ran the other day up here, was just talking about the little guy and the animals and the critters and the water situation throughout the state, not just Clark County. And he was well renowned for that.
Marlene?
I remember very well that going to Carson City, I was invited to a bill signing ceremony, and Mike O'Callahan was governor, and went into that office, and I think early on I decided, you know, he was just so impressive and such a presence in Carson City, legendary for calling all the legislators at 5 in the morning. I mean, it was a different day then. It was a very strong executive branch. There was always the tug of war between the legislative and the executive. With Mike O'Callahan, those legislators would receive those early morning wake-up calls for whatever he was unhappy about, and it was just to actually meet him and be in that room was just so impressive to me when I was very young.
Andy?
Well, I worked for Mike O'Callahan for 12 years when I ran the Press Association, and we were very close. After my husband died, he was one of the first callers and used to call me, I will miss him, used to call me every couple of weeks just to see how I was and check on me and so forth. And if we could see that picture, one of the things that few people knew about Mike was how much he cherished his journalistic abilities. He fretted over his columns. This photograph is a picture he took himself in northern Iraq when he went down to observe the voting by the Kurds, and I don't know if it's clear enough or not, but this was a photograph of people standing in line 8 to 12 hours to vote. He was so impressed that people would stand in line 8 to 12 hours in the hot sun to vote. He blew up his picture and wrote on it and sent it to me because he knew that I was concerned about the lack of voting in America. And you know, our hope being that maybe people in America would come to realize, you know, how important it is for them to be active and to vote. He cared a lot about his column. He cared a lot about his photography ability. This was a man who cared about people. His heart was just too big for him. That's all.
And he was famous for showing up just about anywhere in the state at any time.
Oh yes, oh yes. I mean, he used to, John Borda used to drive him a lot of times around the rural areas of the state and into various bars where he would find out what people thought about things, and then he'd go and try and take care of it. You know?
Nevada's lost an exceptional man.
We all have.
All right, let's move on to other topics here. Dick, you were saying before the program that bids are coming in for your new office building. Is this going to be a smooth ride, or is it a little bumpy?
We'll wait and see. Bids are the packets are available today. We'll see how many get picked up and where we go from here. I think that the amount of money approved may have been a little bit low for the developers and contractors, but we'll see. I hope they're right. I hope we can get rolling on this.
Well, you brought up an interesting point too, which is the cost of steel has gone up dramatically.
Steel has risen recently by 20 to 30%, and I talked to some people the other day who are in the industry, and they feel it's going to go quite a bit more.
And this would have ramifications for the downtown train trench as well.
I think it's going to have ramifications for a lot of construction. It seems that most of the steel in this country right now is going to China, and it's really made a shortage in the market.
I want to change the subject. Clark County has just passed a law based on Reno's law that forbids you watching drag racing. If you're a spectator, you can be arrested.
You can't watch drag racing?
You can't watch
illegal drag racing.
Oh, illegal drag racing.
Well,
okay. I was going to say.
Well, drag
NASCAR
racing on the
safe.
streets. NASCAR safe, yeah, but clearly drag racing on the streets is illegal. Some thoughts, people?
Well, that's Big Brother going at it pretty heavy. I don't know, you know, I guess if you're witnessing a crime, this in Dick's bailiwick, if you witness a crime, maybe, you know, I don't know if that makes you a criminal or not, but I think it gives you an obligation to report, but I don't know if it makes you a criminal.
I've got some real mixed thoughts on this one. I know what the issue is that they're trying to resolve. The bummer's going to be when we get some kids killed, and that's going to happen. You can't go out and run these big high-power cars like that without something happening sometime along the way. So I know that they're trying to do, but I got to kind of agree with Bob. Just start telling spectators that they're violating the law. I'm not so sure that that's the way we need to go, and I'm not so sure it's going to stand up in court.
You know, you could have a lot of young people very early on have some sort of criminal complaint against
On the record.
on their record being a spectator.
I think it's a thing for civil disobedience. We've seen this with gay marriage around the country. People are getting married all over the place. It's starting to have an effect on the way that we're thinking. So maybe thousands of people should show up for these drag races, and then the police would have to arrest them all.
And can we quickly get a thought on Martha Stewart?
I want to throw just one more point out. If you want to drag race your cars, go to Fernley. They've got a complete approved drag racing strip.
And that's the bottom line, isn't it? That we've got to make this so that people can go and enjoy this in a legal fashion.
That's correct.
Quick thoughts on Martha Stewart?
Oh, I kind of tend to think that Martha Stewart is, I don't know who that is. Is that me or you?
Okay.
Martha, that's not me.
Can we get thoughts on Martha Stewart?
Oh, Martha Stewart. Well, I feel sorry for Martha Stewart. I guess the message there for me is that you don't lie to the federal government or to those who are investigating the law. But other than that, there's a soft spot in there. Even though I'm not a fan of Martha Stewart, there's a soft spot in my heart for that, and I kind of feel sorry for what's happened to her.
Quickly, people. Dick?
I think it was a good call. I think it was a good call by a jury to convict her for what she was doing, and her history, everything aside on her personally, it's a good call.
I think she's been punished enough now. I don't see any purpose for her to go to jail. I'm no Martha Stewart fan, but...
And Andy?
Well, I think people got to learn the good old boy game is over, friends. Follow
All right.
the law.
We'll be right back after this timeout. It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
I tell you, John, this industry has really changed.
Tell me about it.
You seem to do pretty well last year. What's your secret?
No secrets. Although I'll tell you something. The smartest thing I did was sign up with Pro Group Management.
Really? Yeah, they do workers' comp, right?
Yeah, their services are great. And get this, they saved me 30%. I've heard they saved others 50%.
That works for me.
Pro Group Management. Finally, workers' comp that works for you.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch.
Atlantis.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
And Andy, coming up on tomorrow's show?
Wildlife and education. Chris Healy and Terry Hickman.
Do wildlife and education go together?
Some teachers think they do.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for watching.